And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, March 29th. I am Josh Engleman. We are brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight, and I have no idea what happened in the sports world for the past 3 days. I've been fully unplugged, got back yesterday, did a lot of sleeping, needed it. Still tired, but that doesn't matter because we have an absolute ton of games to dive into today. 11 again. We got another big Monday, Wednesday, Friday setup this week. I don't like it. I wish that it was like 8, 6, 8, 6, 8. Instead, it's 11, 4, 11. It's just awful. Anyway, this one might take a little bit longer than it normally does, even more so than usual, because I don't feel like I have like the flow of having been looking at this stuff for a couple days. Taking Friday, Saturday, Sunday off was nice and needed, but we got a bit of a journey on our hands, everybody. So if you can, hit that like button as you get in the door. We got 42 people here right now. I know that number's going to climb, but let's get a couple more thumbs ups in there. That would help out tremendously. Subscribe to the channel. That one helps too. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. All of that stuff is perfect for us. The subs, huge. Makes us grow. Allows us to bring on more people and do more content for you guys. We're trying to do it all for you. Yeah, Haywood, I definitely need that morning coffee. I've been waiting to take a sip, so let's do that right now because I'm not gonna lie, I need this. I actually haven't had any coffee since Friday morning. We bought it. We forgot to buy it Friday night at the house that we were at, so we didn't have it Saturday morning, and then we just got up and started doing things and drinking, and then I went for a massage. Anyway, it was just mostly booze. And then we did buy it Saturday night. We just didn't make it Sunday morning. Totally forgot. So I haven't had any coffee in a couple days. It's been rough. So cheers to you, everybody. Joints, coffees, beers, whatever you're doing in the morning. Or for the West Coast people, if it's still late night. Cheers. Guys, I can't even explain how good that tastes right now. Oh, Jay the football nerd. Glad the show's helping you out a ton. You only seem to... What's the best way to build a single entry? I got to take this question and this question only, and then we got to dive in. There's too many games. What's the best way to build a single entry? I only seem to profit about 25% of the time. You're the best. Well, the first thing that I would say here is, and it has very little to do with the actual lineup construction, you need to be aware of how often you think you should be profiting. And profiting 25% in a single entry is not a low number. You got to think about, like, as a baseline, this is not going to be like you need this number to win money, but as a baseline, you should assume that in order to make money, you need to beat how often or how much of the player pool gets paid out. So let's, like in a head-to-head, for example, you want to win more than 50% of the time because we'll just say 50% of the pool pays out. Same sort of situation for a 50-50. For GPPs, that's like a 18 to 25% number, that depending on the single entry. Like, I don't really know which single entry it is, but in general for GPPs, you're paying out like a quarter of the field. So cashing 25% of the time in a single entry GPP, like, that's not a problematic number at all. You shouldn't be expecting that number to be like 40 or 50 or something along those lines. That's basically impossible. You know, like, you're shooting, let's say that a contest pays out 25% of the time. And really, like, you're not, again, with the top heavy nature of these contests, like, you're shooting for first more than you're shooting for 150th. But regardless of that, like, you still want to be at the higher end in general. So if 25% of a single entry contest pays out, and you're a completely average player, you're probably cashing about 25% of the time. What you're really trying to do is get to like 30, 31, 32, 30. Like, that next step up is the tier, but where you're at isn't as low as you might think it is, because that's sort of like going to be your baseline for any sort of single entry contest. So much is going to depend on site, contest, buy-in size. Like a single entry at a high buy-in is going to look a lot different than single entry at a low dollar buy-in. But it's sort of the same as literally every other situation for the most part in DFS, but in NBA in particular. You want to play the best players that you can find. In speaking from Awesemo.com data, for example, you want to play as many of the guys that have high optimal lineup percentage scores as possible. The more of those guys you're playing, the more likely your lineup is going to be quality. If that lineup ends up super chalky, that might be perfectly okay, depending on how big that individual contest is. The first thing that you can do after that is swap out just one guy. Swap out one of those guys that's really highly ranked in the optimal that has a pretty negative leverage score, so pretty high ownership. Switch one of those guys to someone with a positive leverage score. That's also pretty high in optimal lineup percentage. That's probably enough to just be a little bit different. You don't want to move too far away from center because you don't have to get that far away from it. In the NFL, it ends up being a little bit different just because of the way that opportunity gets structured. But in the NBA, we know sort of what's going on. It deviating in large volume is probably going to be problematic for you in the long term. Just play better players. It sounds overly simple, but it's a math game. And getting the best probabilities that you can of guys that are going to be in the optimal is going to make you have optimal decisions more often. All right. 74 viewers, 37 likes. Oddly low ratio this morning, but that's fine. We're going to dive in now. I need to keep talking. I need to keep sucking down coffee because it's probably going to take me about 45 minutes before I truly wake up. I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night, guys. I got an IV yesterday. Bruised all over my arm. It's bad. It's good stuff, though. All right, into Boston. We know we don't have Tristan Thompson, no Semi, no Romeo Langford. The big question here will be, will Evan Fournier play newly minted Boston Celtic? Sounds like he could be available. So I am going to put Evan Fournier in this game. Jerry, nothing happened. I got it to rehydrate my body. I went to a beach house for a couple days and lived a life. It was fun. It was a good time. It was a very good time. I'm happy I have my voice. All right, so we are going to give him minutes, and I think that's pretty important to do. So let's just say that Evan Fournier is about to play 26 minutes. So we have most of those minutes to go around. Kemba, his minutes look okay. Marcus Smart is not going to play limited minutes, I don't think, but maybe a little bit more limited. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Yeah, I think they're just going to play big minutes. I think all of this looks good. Pour one out for Daniel Tice, too. Sad day. I'm going to miss him on the Celtics. Hey, what? I don't even know what that means. Morning, everybody. Jerry, I like to get him pretty regularly. I'm pretty bad at like keeping myself hydrated. And there's a place pretty close to my house. It's not all that problematic from a price perspective. And now that I know how much better I feel when I do it, it's a no-brainer. They give me the Toradol, so the headache goes away and the joint pain goes away. I get the Pepcid, so the tummy aches go away. And then I got a B complex vitamin and a full bag of juice. I felt like $1 million yesterday. I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning playing a 1980s version of Trivial Pursuit. It was a long day. So, okay, so Luke Cornett actually played for the Celtics. See, this is going to be why this is such a long experience for me. Because I don't really know like who started making debuts. So this is going to become really just long. Very, very long. Bull, a lot less than that for me. I want to say it was like 65 or something like that. 70, something like that. Not over 100. Hence my interest. All right, I'm going to assume that Luke Cornett plays like a little bit. Give him like a full rotation. Okay, then we're going to be moving some of this stuff around. Boston's coming together pretty slowly, but if Fournier is playing, that does really complicate matters. Okay. I think that's going to be good. I think we could be good there. And I'm just going to assume that Evan Fournier has slightly lower usage than he previously has in the past, just because different team, changes, all that good stuff. Just doesn't make a ton of sense to me to go a different direction. So this will be Boston. Boston done here. And there's actually a lot to like here for Boston. $6,500 Robert Williams on FanDuel, looking like a very nice play. Boston, by the way, home against the New Orleans Pelicans, 7:30 start. Edgar Allan Toe, good morning. T-Rex, is this an Excel layout that I created? Yes, it is. So Robert Williams looks solid. Jason Tatum looks solid, 8,500 and 8,600. Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart. I see all 5 of those guys as playable. Robert Williams more so on FanDuel than on DK. And then Jason Tatum is pretty equal across both. Everybody else, Brown, Walker, and Smart, are a step behind. Can't get to Fournier right now without knowing his minutes. Eric, I had a great weekend. It was super relaxing. It was really nice to just sort of take a break for a bit. Just rode around the island, took some nature walks, took the dogs out on the beach for a bit. It was good. It was very good. Gonna set it up to go for a couple extra days in October. All right, on to Brooklyn. And I believe Kyrie's playing, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Kyrie Irving in, no Durant. Probably no Aldridge, no Shamet. So let's go ahead and get Kyrie Irving in this basketball game, which means that we're going to have to start this entire Brooklyn team from scratch. I'm going to have to start lopping some of these names out. I don't think some of these guys are even on this team anymore. I don't think Roberson is on the team anymore. Let's see. Shump isn't on this team anymore. That might be everybody. 11 game slates are the worst. I truly am not, like, it just feels so random. All right, Harden's minutes, 37, pretty safe right out of the gate. Kyrie Irving coming back, missed a couple days. What do you think? 33, probably pretty safe for him. That should be fine. What's up, Raspy Treasures? What's going on? What's going on to everybody, man? 100 people here already, up to 56 likes. We're looking good. And I'm moving a little bit slower than I was hoping, but I feel pretty good. So that's really all that matters. All right, DeAndre Jordan, he's kind of just settled into a 20-minute a game role. Nick Claxton sort of settling into like a 22-minute a game role. And then we'll give Jeff Green the final 6. Actually, we'll call Blake the nominal 5 there. Get Blake 18 minutes. Jeff Green seems pretty firm around 28. That looks good. All right, Joe Harris should just get his normal 32. This should be a true beating, by the way. This can't really expect this one to be all that close. All right, Bruce Brown is just gonna play like normal weird minutes. Tyler Johnson appears to play about as much as TLC. I'm just gonna give these guys 16 and 16. And that would be the end of the Nets. Now, we do need to make some adjustments to usage rates. I'm dialing Harden back just a hair. That should basically cover Brooklyn. Brooklyn Nets at home, 11.5-point favorites against Minnesota. And really, we're not playing much here. James Harden looking solid, 11-3 on FanDuel, 10-9 on DraftKings. Probably have him a bit over projected. Let's do something like that. But still Harden. Yeah, I think that looks more than okay. It's Harden at the top. I don't really have a ton of interest in Kyrie, but he is viable. I don't think anything else from Brooklyn really is today. Aldridge on the Nets will be meaningless, Dave. That's the word you're looking for. All right, so there we go. We're through Brooklyn. We'll keep it moving on to Chicago. I assume that this rotation is also going to be a true mess for me. Yeah, MLB opening day coming up. And I can confirm I will not be doing any MLB content at least until the NBA season is over, barring filling in to grab somebody's shows or something. So you are just going to get a lot of NBA coverage from me. Alrighty. We're gonna have to just gut this entire Chicago team. This can't be real, can it? They played all 15 dudes 2 nights ago. The full 15. And Javonte Green is on this team, which I didn't know. So let's fix that too. Do I have a Minu on there already? Okay, I do have that part right. So let's get Javonte Green onto this team. There we go. Yeah, so this is basically like my truly first slate after the All-Star break. Like obviously we did the show Saturday, but I didn't really have to deal with as many roster decisions since nobody was eligible. So let's hash this out. Center for the Chicago Bulls, Nikola Vucevic. Yeah, I'm very happy to not jump into MLB right away. Doing both of those things at the same time is really hard. Eric, you got to get every spot right today. There are no misses on an 11-game slate. Oh, yeah. Zion, I'm well aware that. Look, like Arcidiacono, Devin Dotson, and Cristiano Felicio all played 2 minutes. I don't expect them to play 2 minutes. I just thought you don't really see any situations where teams play all 15 dudes. That is ultra rare. All right, so Vooch is the center, obviously. And then Markkanen. All right, so Thad Young's minutes just aren't going to change. He's just going to play like 22 minutes. So that's fine. So we're going to do something like that. Kobe White actually saw a little bit of a minutes uptick, so we're going to give him 26, which will allow me to give Satoransky. Oh, and Garrett Temple's back. This team's got too many bodies, man. All right. Satoransky, good. Garrett Temple. I got to give Zach LaVine his legit run. And then I think we're going to give Garrett Temple. Are there any other bigs that I got to give money? Yeah, money, minutes. Okay, so Patrick Williams is out. Probably should be playing specifically at the 4. Let's give him 18. So that takes me to 7. I'm going to have to thin this rotation out a bit. We'll go 20 minutes to Temple. That leaves me 23 minutes for What? Aminu and who? Archie Diacono, maybe? No, because he would have been behind Javonte Green. Troy Brown, maybe? You have Troy Brown 10, Aminu 13. Yeah, I don't know what this Bulls rotation is going to be really difficult. So best of luck on those endeavors. All right. I'm just going to assume that most of these usage rates seem similar. We'll see where we end up after that. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, let's get some music playing in the background too. There we go. Yeah, I did see that MCW ended up being a bit of a different play on the Friday slate, but that's about it. I didn't see much of anything. I tried to catch up on it a little bit, but wasn't a huge priority for me. I was pretty wrecked. All right, on to the Bulls. All right, so on Chicago, I would say we're going to be looking at Zach LaVine on the high end. 7,500 on FanDuel looks really nice. Bulls are on the road against Golden State, so amazing matchup. Zach LaVine on FanDuel looks great. Nikola Vucevic on FanDuel at 9,200 looks pretty good. Both of those guys, similar story on DraftKings, although LaVine still looks good at 8,400 on DK, and he's $900 cheaper on FanDuel. So that's perfect. You're definitely getting the Zach LaVine today. Vooch looks good. Markkanen is on the edge. Patrick Williams is on the edge. 653. I am not moving at the pace of anything quick, but it could be worse. On to Cleveland. 127 viewers, 69 likes. You guys are doing pretty good. Pretty good. You could do a little bit better. Did I finish that bottle of Hennessy? No, I did not. No, I did not. All right, no Kevin Love, no Jared Allen. Okay. Prince questionable, Isaiah Hartenstein probable, Delhi out. All right, well, I'm just going to gut that. So starting center for the Cavs is probably going to be Larry Nance, right? Unless we think Hartenstein is playing. Is he the only center on this team? He is, isn't he? So the Cavs had like 27 centers, and now they don't have Jared Allen. They don't have Kevin Love. Andre Drummond isn't on the team anymore, and they traded JaVale. I assume Isaiah Hartenstein is going to have to play today. But otherwise, they don't have centers. That's hilarious. Fantastic job there, Cleveland. Taking on Utah. Great time to not have a center. Taking on Rudy Gobert. How tall is Lamar Stevens? Because he's listed as a small forward here. All right. So Lamar Stevens is 6'8". Dean Wade is 6'9". Yikes. Yikes. That's hilarious. So Larry Nance is the nominal center for this team. This is hilarious. What a team. What a team. Let's look at this. So they went Okoro, Sexton, Nance, Garland, Broderick Thomas. What is Broderick Thomas? What is that? I don't even have him on the stupid team. What team is Broderick Thomas actually on in my spreadsheet? Houston. Okay. Big asset grab there, Cleveland. Way to go. All right. Well, now that I know that Broderick Thomas can be in, at least Colin Sexton's in, so we know why this is happening. All right, let's think this through here. So at the very least, we know that Sexton and Garland are going to play like 36 minutes today. Well, they're going to try. They're probably going to get smacked. So let's say Garland plays 34. And then Colin Sexton plays 35. That's a good start. Larry Nance is the nominal center as far as I'm concerned. That's 34 minutes. So I've got 137 minutes left for whatever else this is. Isaac Okoro is just clearly going to play a bunch of minutes. There's 33 for Okoro. It probably doesn't matter who I really give the rest of these minutes to. But for sake of argument, Dean Wade got 31 minutes. I guess Chetty was also out. And he is fine here. I'm going to give Isaiah Hartenstein the backup center minutes if he is probable. I don't really... he might actually play more and they play alongside each other. I'm going to give Taurean Prince 16 minutes if he is actually back. And then I will give Dean Wade 1, 2, 3, 4... like a middle... like a 3.5 rotations. So 26... Damian Dotson is going to need to play 20 minutes. Do we really assume Broderick Thomas plays that much? I do not. What's the best time to check out ownership projections? 15 minutes before the slate locks. Would be my guess. Okay, so Broderick Thomas played all those minutes with Sexton and Garland. Okay, so I'm going to give him these 27 minutes. And I'm going to give Lamar Stevens those 6. And Damian Dotson 15. Sure. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. Larry Nance usage should be fine. Isaac Okoro's usage probably high. Dean Wade, good. Yeah, Broderick did get the start the other night. That's something. Cleveland Cavaliers are 15.5-point underdogs at Utah today. If you want to play Colin Sexton or Larry Nance, go for it. Broderick Thomas is 3,600 on FanDuel and 3,300 on DraftKings. He is a value play, I guess. That is a disgusting game. On to Dallas. This one should be at least relatively easy. Who's available for the Mavs? Luka's in. Porzingis in. No Redick. No Willie Cauley-Stein. No Tyrell Terry. So this should actually be pretty easy to handle. By the way, 137 viewers, 76 likes at the 7 o'clock mark. You know we need to get to 100 so I could run crunches at the end. All right, let's break this down. What is happening here? Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta look something up. Okay. We'll leave that off then. All right, we're good. All right, so for Dallas, since we know everybody's basically here, Jerry, I don't even know the differences. I don't think I have many changes to make here outside of like getting Dorian Finney-Smith back in the lineup a little bit more. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be able to roll with this. You got 28 minutes out of Boban. That's fun. Dallas OKC. I don't have anything to change here. That can actually hold true. Dallas Mavs, 9.5-point favorites in Oklahoma City. So for Dallas, I think we're looking pretty good here. I'm generally pretty high on Porzingis. That's the case. Luka looks good. I think Harden will end up looking a little bit better. Luka for 10-8, though, on DK. I don't mind that at all. And then Porzingis is available. Josh Richardson, 5K and 5,200. Those are really the only 3 guys that I think are rosterable from Dallas today. On to Detroit. There's no way this is a fun one to do. Who ended up being the starting point guard? All right, not DSJ. Is he still out apparently, or is he just not in the rotation? All right, DSJ is just out. Cool. Diallo in, Jeremy Grant in, no Hayes, no Okafor. Doubtful on Rodney McGrude's. Assuming Corey Joseph played. Oh, yeah. Corey Joseph played and played real minutes. So all of those minutes are going away. Corey Joseph. Is Corey Joseph the new starting point guard for the Detroit Pistons? So they went Mason Plumlee, Okay, so they went Saban Lee. Good to know. Yeah, I got some bags under my eyes. That's for sure. Josh is tired. Josh is tired. It was a long weekend. It was a long weekend. It was a fun weekend. All right, so Saban Lee starting lineup then again. That works. Probably not going to close, so I think 24 minutes looks best. We'll give Corey Joseph those other 24 plus 4. Mason Plumlee 27, Isaiah Stewart 21. And then Diallo didn't play the last game, but is set to play like 18 like the last game that he played, so we'll give him 18 minutes. Jeremy Grant just pretty quickly gets 34. Sadiq Bey obviously plays a ton of minutes, so that's 32. So the rest of this should actually fill itself out pretty easily. Who else is getting minutes at the 4? Is that Tyler Cook or is he a guard? I can't remember. Nah, he's the big. Thought so. All right. This Pistons team is complicated because they've got a lot of guys that aren't very good mixed together. Who's playing any other minutes at the 4 in this stupid game? I'm running out of bodies. Josh Jackson. I mean, he gets played. Oh, that's Frank Jackson. So I got to give Frank. All right. Frank Jackson's just going to be out of the rotation. That seems pretty clear. 22 for Josh Jackson, 20 for Wayne Ellington, calling it a day. Now Wayne's playing more than 20. 10 for 24 for Wayne Ellington. Sure, that works. Corey Joseph gets his normal usage, as does Saban Lee, as does Wayne Ellington. That's just going to have to work. For the Pistons, Pistons are 4.5-point dogs at home against the Raptors, which is actually a little surprising. So I'm assuming a bunch of people are out for Toronto. Jeremy Grant looks solid, I guess. 6,900 on FanDuel, 7,500 on DK. Maybe a little bit of Plumlee. No, maybe a little bit of Bay or Lee. But you're really not looking for the Pistons all that much today. Seems like a bit of a stretch. Brandon, I haven't seen any basketball since Thursday night. Had a great weekend. Absolutely fantastic. Wouldn't change a thing. It was perfect. Golden State Warriors. Q tag on Curry. Q tag on Eric Paschall. So what do we know about Curry? Obviously, he hurt his bum. Went through practice on Sunday, questionable Monday. I mean, if he went through a full practice, then he's playing today. So Steph is back. Which means everybody in this rotation goes away. Steph's going to come back and just play like normal. So 33 minutes to Steph. Wiseman, 28 minutes seems fine. Kevon Looney. Are they splitting it? How many minutes are Draymond playing? 46, full 48, 43. So we'll give Looney 18. 2 to Draymond, 34 total for Draymond. We'll give Oubre 32. We'll give Wiggins 32. We'll give Wiggins 33, actually. So who's not going to play now that Steph is back? Pascal did get back in the rotation, but he had been out for a bit, but he is in it. So I am going to give Pascal those 16 minutes. Jordan Poole is going to get the backup point guard run plus a little extra. And then just scattered minutes to 1 or 2 people here. Nico Mannion, I guess. Damian Lee. I don't know. The rest of those guys don't really matter all that much. All right. 24% usage there. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. And we're good for Golden State. They get to take on the Bulls. This should be a good one here. Wiseman is still 4K on FanDuel. So just in case you guys are curious, James Wiseman is going to be one of my favorite plays on FanDuel. It's just a great spot to pay down. Am I like dramatically overprojecting him? No, I don't think so. All right. Steph doesn't look very good. Neither does Draymond or Wiggins or Oubre. Just filler, if anything. James Wiseman on FanDuel is the only thing that I want from Golden State with any sort of regularity. So there we go. Welcome, Thomas. We are on to the Houston Rockets, a team that I truly don't know who's even on this roster any longer. All right, Daniel House in. Questionable tag on Christian Wood. So what do we got going on there? Illness. Okay, well, I'm just assuming Christian Wood plays then. I'm not projecting somebody out for an illness. There obviously no Eric Gordon, no David Nwaba, no Exum. So those parts are easy. Q tag on Avery Bradley. I assume he hasn't played yet. Correct. All right, I'm just going to assume that Avery Bradley is also not playing. Chris, I did have a good weekend. I hope you had a good one as well. All right, so oddly enough, Houston might be like kind of easy to do here. So Christian Wood, 32 minutes, 60 minutes to Kenyon Martin. Oh, Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, I got to give Kelly Olynyk minutes. So I am going to scratch this entire rotation. We'll give 34 to John Wall. We'll give 32 to Christian Wood. Okay, Christian Wood didn't play the last game, so that's fine. I'm just going to give Kelly Olynyk the straight backup center minutes. That seems reasonable. Daniel House is going to play, his normal 30 minutes, you would think. Which I think allows me to just give Kenyon Martin the backup run there. I'm going to give Jayshawn Tate 32 minutes. We'll give DJ Augustine the backup point guard minutes. This is where it gets a little hazy for everybody playing at the 2. So Sterling Brown, 24 minutes, I think is fine. That means I've got 40 minutes for Kevin Porter. And if I want to, anybody else, or to give a boost to DJ Augustine. So I think Porter playing those 16 and another 8, getting to 24 is fine. I think Ben McLemore is just going to play a little bit more now. So I'm going to give 4 more minutes to Augustine and 12 to Ben McLemore. Matt, I hope everything goes well for your mom's cataract surgery. I'm just going to assume that these rates are about where I need them to be. Although we can go 14 there, 23.5. Fine there with Wall, House, Wood. Okay. All right, so for Houston Rockets are home against the Memphis Grizzlies, 5.5 point dogs. Christian Wood for 7,700 looks pretty good on FanDuel. John Wall for 8,300 looks a little bit better on DK. But Wall and Wood are really all you want. Jayshawn Tate is on the outside, up looking in of any sort of volume. I don't think that Kelly Olynyk will matter all that much here. I think that should be fine there. We'll go to Indiana now. The Pacers taking on the Wizards. So this is the best matchup you can get if you're Indiana. So injury news here will be very interesting. Only a Q tag on McBuckets. They didn't really do anything at the deadline. So most of this should just look like it normally does. Rotation for Goga. 30 plus minutes for most of these guys. I am pretty okay with what I see. I think all that looks good. Although Levert, I guess I got to give more minutes. Edmund Sumner. We have the full 240 out. So who do I got to take minutes from? McBuckets, I guess? All right. I think we look pretty good there. Rates are all going to be pretty much spot on. But if they're not, we'll do a brief refresh. There we go. Indiana. That's the fastest one we've had. First game of the night at home, or no, on the road rather, against the Wizards. 236 total. This is going to be, yeah, now we're talking. Okay, so lots and lots to talk about here. Levert, Sabonis, Brogdon, and Turner all look pretty good on DK. Definitely guys you want to have a lot of. I would rank them right now. Brogdon, Levert, Sabonis, Turner, but they're all pretty close. On FanDuel, $5,700 Miles Turner is definitely my top option. Sabonis is a close second, but he is 8,800. Either way, I like that price. Brogdon would be third, and then Karis LeVert at 7,600 is a bit too expensive, but still very much in play. So you're going to be getting there. I think Justin Holiday and TJ McConnell are also viable value options on FanDuel for Indiana. That's what happens when you play Washington. Everybody ends up looking good. Got to get Pacers tonight. One of my favorite teams. All right, on to the Clippers. No idea what's going on with this team. No Pat Bev, no Serge Ibaka, no Rondo. So that's good to know. That's pretty easy to deal with. This should be just like their same normal stuff as of late, just minus the Lou Will minutes, which I guess are probably just going either to Terrence Mann. Certainly not going to Luke Kennard. Jesus. All right. Well, I'm going to break this whole rotation down just because I think that I can get to it faster. Ivica Zubac played significantly less minutes the last time out. I'm assuming that's just from reasons but outside of his control. So he's getting 30 minutes right out of the gate. Backup center minutes then by default are going to Marcus Morris. And he is going to play about 28 minutes. We're going to give Reggie Jackson those starting point guard minutes. I think 30 seems about right. Terrence Mann can get those backup minutes plus a little extra. Who else do I need to give minutes at the 4? That would be Nick Batum. Batum back up over 30 minutes the past 2 games. I'm going to give him 30 there. And that lets me give Kawhi 36, Paul George 36. So I have 24 minutes left over for whether it's Patrick Patterson, Amir Coffey, Luke Kennard. All of those guys can get some of this run. I'm going to give 8 minutes to Patrick Patterson and 16 minutes to Luke Kennard. Rates should all be pretty solid, although I guess they're not. So I'm going to gut everything and just put in normal, what looks like normal rates at least. because it's too big of a slate to like make rotational adjustments super early. All right, so for the Clippers, late night hammer, home against the Bucks, 1.5 point favorites against the Bucks as well. So that's fun to see. So Kawhi, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, really the only three people you want to get to. They actually look a lot better on DK. Kawhi at 8,900 on DraftKings. I think he's a bit underpriced there. Paul George also looks good, but I would rather have Kawhi at 89 and then Paul George at 85. That's not even really close. And then Reggie Jackson, 4,300 on FanDuel, 4,400 on DraftKings. Just a very nice value play on a day like today. Like the Clippers there. More than I thought I would. On to Memphis. All right, we're at 98 likes. Can we push that over 100 now? 160 people in here. I appreciate having you guys. I'm about halfway done my coffee. We're 45 minutes in, and I think I'm actually starting to wake up and feel a little bit better. So now we can have some fun. I'm going to light my candle, too. I've got clean cotton. So let's get some fresh scents going up on here. Guys, we got a full week of fun process shows to do this week. I'm excited. If you're mass entering GPPs, how many times a year, roughly, do you hit first place on any given season in that particular sport? All right, so let's just say that I could play the NBA 150 max, the $4 or whatever it ends up being on a particular day. Let's say you could play that every day for the year. How many times would I expect to hit first? Probably 0. The goal would be 1. Anything in the top 3 will pay off your entries for the year. Maybe even top 4. But not once. Like once a year would be a dream scenario in that contest. All right, Memphis. I don't know what they've got going on. All right, so no Jaren Jackson Jr., and that's it. He's getting further and further away, which is kind of a bummer. What am I doing? Whoop. Okay, there we go. All right, so this Memphis rotation is probably pretty close to good. 22 minutes on Brandon Clark. Sure. All of this just looks fine. So I'm going to leave Memphis go with whatever I have in here. Which means Memphis Grizzlies home. Nope, road. Why do I keep doing that? On the road against the Rockets, 5.5 point dogs. It's Ja, and that's about it. Houston makes the matchup a little bit better. So like Joval could be in a real truly smash spot, especially if Christian Wood ends up out. Kyle Anderson looks okay, but it's Morant and nothing else. I mean, Jerry, like in theory, you can think of it like a math problem. If you want to say like there's 125,000 entries and you've got 150 of them, what are the odds of winning any one contest? How long does it take before you're 50-50 to be? We could actually do that at the end if we have any additional time. Maybe that'll be better for something tomorrow. Maybe remind me about that. And I can show you if you think you are like dead average, you're not caring about the rake. You are just odds are odds. You can see how quickly. Yeah, I mean, like if you think like to hit a single entry, if you're just an average player and it's a 5,000 per, let's say it's a 2,000 person single entry, that you have a 0.0005 chance of winning that contest. Or if you want to think about it like this, a 1 in 2,000 shot. That's how you would do this for everything. In this case, because it's just 1-to-1, your odds of winning a single entry, if you are just a perfectly average player here and everybody is average, like on average, if there's 2,000 people in the single entry, you should win that single entry 1 out of every 2,000 times. Yeah, so years. Years. All right, on to Miami. I can only imagine that this looks wildly different. All right, so no Victor Oladipo. He's got a cold. Is that real? I don't care. No Kendrick Nunn. No Okpala, no Haslam. Dragic in, Bielitsa in, Gabe Vincent in. So we're starting from scratch here on Miami. And I think this one will be not important at all because they're playing the Knicks. And I don't really care how any of this ends up because I can't imagine that anyone outside of potentially Bam or Jimmy Butler look playable today. So we're going to give Bam Adebayo 35 minutes. The backup center run. Well, Myers Leonard is not on this team anymore. The backup center run for this team is going to go somewhere. That's for sure. Dragic, I'm going to give 27 minutes. Backup point guard run. All this can go to. Gabe Vincent 5'4", Hero 5'3". Okay, doesn't matter. So backup 5 is just either Precious or Bielitsa, I guess. Those are really the only options. All right, I'm going to say that Precious is just going to play the backup 5 for right now. You basically did there. Next, we'll say Gabe Vincent straight backup run at point guard, even though I know it's not totally aligned like that. We're going to get Tyler Hero 31 minutes and Duncan Robinson also to 31 minutes, which will give Jimmy Butler 34. And then I can just split. No, I can't split Trevor Ariza and Andre Iguodala. That won't make a ton of sense if Bielitsa's playing. Let's say the Bielitsa plays 14 minutes, I think. We'll give 26 and 8 to Iggy, so that's not happening. So who's actually going to lose these minutes? Max Stress's minutes are going to go away. I think I probably just have to take more minutes away from Precious, but I don't know. It's just going to have to be Bielitsa then, I guess. Even that I don't like, though. I don't really know what they're going to do integrating Bielitsa here. Trevor Ariza's played such huge minutes that I feel like that's not going anywhere. I guess Iguodala is probably the most likely scenario of dropping minutes, although Gabe Vincent is probably the real answer. So I'm going to take Gabe Vincent to 17. I can move some of Tyler Hero's minutes. I can move some of Duncan Robinson's minutes. And then I think that I can get Trevor Ariza to 28, Iggy to 16, and I think that lays there a little. It's not going to matter. The Heat are a terrible option today. So I don't really care what I project these guys at. They're not going to look good. Miami taking on the Knicks, and just for posterity's sake, Miami 4.5-point favorites with a 208.5 total. That's the lowest total on the slate by 11 points. No, by 8 points. And the Knicks are the slowest team in the league. Barely can you get to Bam Adebayo. I wouldn't play anybody else. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter what the Miami Heat rotation is today. Unless like somebody gets named as like okay, so like if Bielitsa gets named a starter today, he's 3K on DraftKings. That's what you need. Even if you think you're an above average single entry player, it's not like you're taking it from 1 in 2,000 to like 1 in 1,000. It's infrequent. Yeah, I play single entry games all the time. I just don't pay attention to it. I just put in my top ranked lineups depending on how chalky they are. Okay, it's just probabilities. Like it has, even if you're an above average, if you cut that from like 1 in 2,000 to 1 in like 1,400, that's huge. All right, for Milwaukee, what do we got going on here? Everybody's in except for PJ Tucker, Bobby Portis, and Rodions Kurucs. Okay. Doesn't matter who you are in single entry. The math is the math. The amount of people in the contest dictates all. Obviously, they get better, but even the best single entry player on the planet doesn't crack that code all that frequently in comparison to the amount of people in the contest. How many people do I know that play DFS for a living that have no other job? A lot, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. Quite a few. Rinpack's fantastic. Dude wins a ton. But he would tell you the exact same thing. In a 2,000 person single entry, don't expect to win that in a calendar year, no matter who you are. Okay, Milwaukee. So who is the backup center if Brook Lopez or if Bobby Portis is out? I guess it's probably just random dudes plus Giannis. And they're playing the Clippers, so this isn't going to be a great fantasy game. So really what I just have to do is make sure everybody that plays real minutes is going to get real minutes, and that seems to be the case right now. So I just have to allocate 20 additional minutes to someone, which would be Jerry. I think they're all the same. That's the key thing here. Like obviously in something like basketball is more predictable, so you feel like you could be right a little bit more. But a 2,000 person single entry contest in basketball, football, baseball, whatever, you have this in general, you have the same odds of winning all of them. Like you might have better success in one of them that changes your personal odds, but the data is the data. Every single sport is the same. You don't cash more or less frequently because the sport changes. It's all based on the amount of people that they're actually paying out in the contest. Who the hell can I give these 20 minutes to? Guess Bryn Forbes needs like 4 more. Thanasis can get 14. I'll give Jordan Nwora 12. And Jerry, I'm just talking about one specific tournament. One tournament, if you play it 365 days a year and it has 2,000, like this is just one specific example. You're obviously playing more than one individual tournament. I don't even know who to give these minutes to. 12 to Jordan Nwora. Do I have any of these other guys? Sam Merrill's just getting 3 spillover. It's not going to matter. We're not rostering bench guys from the Bucks today. All of that is probably fine. So Milwaukee taking on the Clippers. Late night hammer. 229 total. There's not going to be a lot here. Yeah, Giannis. Maybe a little Drew or Chris Middleton. Middleton way too expensive on DK. It's just not a good game for Milwaukee. Minnesota, another team that I cannot stand. No D'Angelo Russell. Oh, yeah, Malik Beasley is back from his suspension. Congratulations, Malik Beasley, for toughing that one out. Good to see you. 172 viewers, 100 plus likes. I like it a lot. Let's start this Minnesota team over. And at the very least, we know, building from the back, Karl Anthony Towns, 34 minutes. Naz Reid, 14. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, like if you're playing cash games, let's say that the only thing you want to do are play 50-50s and head-to-heads. You're cashing somewhere in the neighborhood of 50% of the time. If you're good, 60% of the time, potentially. Depends on what level. You're going to have a higher win rate at $1 than you're going to have at 5, which is going to be higher than what you have at 10, which is going to be higher than what you have at 20. They all follow a pretty similar path, but you should anchor your expectations to the amount that's paid out in a contest over long stretches. So if the GPP pays out 20%, you're going to want to be north of that number for sure. But 20% is like the bottom line. And again, you're paying it all off by winning one contest. Like my second place earlier this year in NBA will cover me in that contest for the entire season. all about getting that one big top heavy day in the door. 28 minutes for Rubio, 20 for Jordan McLaughlin, 34 minutes for Anthony Edwards. Beasley came straight back and played 30, so I assume that that's happening again. 32 minutes for Beasley there. I'm going to assume Jalen Noel gets those 16. Hashing out power forward. All right, so it is just Jaden McDaniels now. 32 minutes for Jaden McDaniels. We'll give 16 to Wancho. I'm missing one person. That's going to be... I guess I'm not missing one person. This could be anybody, huh? Layman, no. I guess I need to just give more minutes here. I'm just going to give Jake Layman 10. Do I treat single entry tournament like a cash game? No, absolutely not. No. Single entry tournament is treated like a GPP. Now, the size of the contest can make it sort of cashy. Like, let's say that's 1,000-person single entry and $100 buy-in or something like that, or maybe even less than that. Less people, 500 people and $1,000 buy-in. Yeah, it's a lot more cash game centric because you don't need to be playing 1% and 2% owned players in 5 separate spots of your lineup. So the smaller the contest, inherently you're playing it slightly cashier, but you still need to make a move or two to get yourself sort of off center slightly. It's all a spectrum. You're basically just sliding up and down this line, and the size of the contest and how many people are paid out in it is really what dictates what you should be doing in terms of the lineup construction. On to the New Orleans Pelicans. We're making better time than I thought we would. Q tag on Lonzo, Q tag on Jackson Hayes. I'm guessing we didn't get Lonzo over the weekend. No, we didn't. So he has been out for a hot minute. I mean, all these Q tags, like, if I have him in, I'm leaving him in. Yeah, okay. So I'm leaving in this rotation to be whatever I had it in for 3 days ago. Lonzo's certainly not playing 32 minutes in his first game back, though. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that right away. Yeah, that looks a bit better. All those rates are just going to be the same. So for the Pels, at Boston, 230 total. Not really a lot to like for the Pelicans, especially if Lonzo ends up in. If he ends up out, it'll probably open up a little bit. But these prices are starting to climb. Zion, 9K on FanDuel, 8,800 on DraftKings. I would go in that direction. Brandon Ingram is okay. Looks a little bit better for 7,700 on DK, but not too much to really want to get to from this New Orleans Pelicans team if Lonzo is in. All right, on to the Knicks, which I can't imagine we're going to be liking a lot of stuff here. Ooh, Q tag on Bullock, Q tag on Randall. Oh, yeah, I forgot Mitchell Robinson broke his foot. Oh, that's annoying, man. That is so annoying. I like that dude. So the Q tag is on Randall and Bullock. Randall didn't play the last game. Bruised left thigh. Got downloaded throughout the day on... Okay, so... Yeah, downgraded, rather. All right, so I assume Julius Randle is playing. And it feels like Reggie Bullock will also play. So mostly just have to hash out the center rotation. We've seen what's happened with Mitchell Robinson out. They just... But in this case, they went... Oh, yeah, because Randall was out, too. And here Noel was out as well. All right. We've seen this. So I'm going to go 28 and 20. Nerlens Noel and Taj. And I think that'll just be it. Frankie Smokes is now out of the rotation. Yep. Did not play. That didn't take too long. Oh, wow. They just really yanked this one around, huh? So... That looks fine. Who? So Elfrid Payton played 15 minutes the last game. Did he start? Or is Tibbs finally waking up? Oh no, he started. Didn't play the second quarter or the fourth quarter. So he started the first and third quarter. So he got the Keith Bogans. Weird. Dude, the Knicks are the worst. Why is Elfrid Payton getting the Keith Bogans and not playing in the second and fourth quarters? That makes 0 sense. Are there any DFS players that consistently win? Yeah, all the highly ranked ones. I'll name the people that from our site. So Alex, Tom, 1-800-EDDIE, Rinpack, Adam. Like, I'm just naming people that I like right off the top of my head. I can't speak to like individual sports. I assume Jake for NHL. I assume for baseball as well. I mean, EMAC wins consistently, plays in different stakes, but he's grinding it hard and successfully for years. I mean, most of our site, Ben for golf, Tim for golf, Roslyn for golf. The rest of the NHL guys, I just don't follow NHL enough to hit on everybody. It's easy to just drop these names from the Awesemo side, at least in our specialties. And that does nothing to say for, you know, guys at other everybody else at other sites. Like, I'm obviously not going to be shouting out all the names, but I mean, you can check the leaderboards. The names you see pretty regularly are up there pretty regularly. And obviously there's that next upper tier. I mean, even more people. Sean's on here now. I mean, watch Sean's on play baseball in the past couple of years, and you'll see a roller coaster of emotions where just rostering, you know, 2 teams stacked aggressively that don't look very good and take beating after beating and then just eviscerate a slate and pay it all back off and then some. Just being able to concentrate on that 1 or 2 setup for a given slate. The misses make it look like it's awful, but when the hit comes, oh boy. Oh, you meant on sale. I mean, it's the same answer whether it's single entry or GPPs. They're not all that different, no matter what people like to think that they are. A large majority of the people that I just mentioned, like more than half, you know, DFS income is technically their income, or at least it has been in the past. Others that are employed by Awesemo just get paid by Awesemo too, which is fun. I enjoy those paychecks. It's a great place to work. New York Knicks. I still need to get Derrick Rose minutes again. This is not a fun team to project right now. Oh, Derrick Rose is just playing monster minutes in this first game back. And that is why Elfrid Payton is playing less. And that is why I didn't notice it. So I'm just going to assume that Derrick Rose just plays huge minutes again. And that is what will nerf Elfrid Payton. Morning, Izzy. Todd, you're quite welcome. All right, so who is actually going to get this minutes haircut? It's probably Obi Toppin, isn't it? I need to shave 16 minutes from the Knicks. That seems impossible to do. Okay, Alec Burks isn't playing 28 minutes or 30 minutes. I mean, maybe he is. Best I could do is 26 there. Well, where the hell am I going to get 12 minutes from? It's got to be Obi Toppin, just straight out done. Although, God, there's no way that's right either. Man, who is not getting these minutes? This Knicks rotation is awful. Truly, truly awful. I think Quickly is going to be the guy that loses more of these minutes. I don't even know why I'm putting this much time into the Knicks rotation. It's not going to matter. We're not rostering these guys. Their matchup is awful. All right, so for the Knicks, that took way longer than I wanted it to, but against Miami, terrible total. Yeah, it's Randall and nothing else. I wasted way too much time trying to project out what the Knicks are going to do when you shouldn't roster anybody from the Knicks and Heat game. Oklahoma City. Okay, so this one should be a true disaster too. No Shea, no Dort, no Baisley. Moses Brown getting inked up. Tony Bradley probable. Mike Muscala out. Oh, I didn't know that Oklahoma City put Horford on ice. That's fun. Good for him. Sure he's happy about that. All right, so I just need to delete everything here for Oklahoma City. George Hill, Billy, Horford. I'm just going to delete his name for right now. I don't think that's going to help me out at all. Just going to assume that's right for the rest of it. So we're going to say Teo Maledon is going to just play a ton. Center is just going to be a ton of Moses Brown. Roby. Man, will Tony Bradley get minutes? Tony Bradley's going to play, isn't he? I would give him the straight backup minutes. Why not? Jerry, what they should have done is never drafted Toppin. Do you think he can go back and do that? It was a terrible draft pick the moment it happened. Oh, Knicks. All right. Roby gets 28 minutes. We'll give Josh Hall the backup point guard minutes. He is a point guard, right? That's in my head correctly. Nope, small forward. God, I don't know anything about this stupid team. All right. Ty Jerome gets those 16 plus. We'll say another. No, Dort didn't play. We'll get to 24 there. So we got Pogaszewski, Kenrich Williams, Svi. So Poku can get those 20 plus another 11. Kenrich Williams. I don't know why he's playing so much for this team. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. He'll get 26. We got to give Svi 24. It's Josh Hall character. And then, am I missing anybody? Justin Jackson. Sure. Bill, absolutely not. Never. Never before shows. All right, for Svi, this Oklahoma City team is going to be pretty bad down the stretch. Like really bad. All right, so I don't even know who's going to get the rate boosts here. I might not even change anything. I might have to just let this one go. All right, for Oklahoma City, at home against Dallas, 9.5 point dogs, 216 total. I think we're going to be looking pretty heavily at Moses Brown, 6,500 and 6,800, and then that's really going to be it. Maybe a little bit of Poku, Roby. But OKC is gross. 5 teams to go. We're on Sacramento now. Yeah, today's not a day where I'm crisp and on point. I started drinking Friday at like 2 o'clock and didn't really stop until Sunday at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a long couple days. All right, Sacramento is just going to be all over the map here. What do we got going on? Obviously no Bagley, Whiteside Q tag. So in theory, this should be pretty easy. We give De'Aaron Fox his minutes at point guard. We give Rashawn Holmes his minutes at center. And then we need to give Buddy Hield 35 minutes. We need to give Halliburton 34 minutes. We need to give Harrison Barnes the full 36. And now we just need to fill in backups. So we're going to say DeLon Wright. Oh, Terrence Davis. I need to get on to Sacramento. I didn't realize I was missing him. Sam, I used to do those kind of videos all the time. This was I would basically just be sharing my screen doing this during Live Before Lock. Process is a little bit different now in that we have shows that are different. It's not something that I'd be able to do any longer. Jackie, trip to the beach house was amazing. The house was absolutely gorgeous. Wouldn't change a thing. Just every bit of the experience was great. Can't wait to go back. All right, so we'll give Terrence Davis the backup point guard run. I will give DeLon Wright a little bit more time here. Mo Harkless. And then who is playing the backup 5? Who the hell is the backup center now? Who played the minutes that Rashawn Holmes didn't? Okay, they played Cleveland. Anybody could have done it. All right, so Holmes came off and Metu came on. Metu played straight backup to Rashawn Holmes. Fine, that's easy enough. Straight backup run for Metu. It's either going to be him or Whiteside, so it really doesn't matter. And then we'll give Harkless 16. Call it a day. Go grab some coffee, Patrick. Have a good one. All right, for Sacramento. Bill, enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy yourself. That's going to be a fun one. All right, Sacramento. Fox and Halliburton. Halliburton looks better on FanDuel at 5,500. He's $600 more expensive on DraftKings, so I think it's better to get to Fox at 9,500. Fox is just on a tear right now, but Sacramento taking on the Spurs, decent spot. I have been to the West Coast. I've been to LA. I've spent a lot of time in San Francisco and then in wine country, so Sonoma and Napa, and I've been to Portland once. All right, San Antonio Spurs. We're coming down the home stretch here, guys. This is moving at about the pace I expected. 11 games is going to be a long time one way or the other, and coming in not fresh after not having played for a couple days, also not all that easy. All right, so Lonnie Walker I know is out for a couple days with something. Yeah, Gorgeous Dong coming in. That's going to be good for the Spurs. I think he'll be a really nice add as a stretch big. So let's, we should be able to finish off San Antonio pretty quickly. 32, 34, 32. Why would Devin Vassell play so many less minutes than that? 14, 26. All right, that needs to change. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so Rudy Gay can get some of those minutes. 22 to Rudy Gay. Keldon Johnson, 30. Okay, that's too many. I think we're probably good there on the Spurs. Rates are all the same. Perfect. Spurs and Kings. Yeah, not much to look at for San Antonio. Murray, White, Johnson, DeRozan, all looking pretty similar relative to salary, but even in a good matchup, it's hard to get to the Spurs ever. 3 teams left. Raz, that'll basically just get covered by running the crunch. The running total just, I realize, just slows me down. We're going to see who ranks the best at the end when we run the crunch anyway. All right, Toronto. Oh, my God. All right, Q-tag on Lowry, Bembry, McCaw, Jalen Harris, and Paul Watson. I think that I just have to assume that all the normal starters play. Oh yeah, Rodney Hood now on this team. That's something. We'll take Paul Watson's minutes. We'll take Malachi Flynn's minutes. We'll take Bembry's minutes. And we'll take Stanley Johnson's minutes out of there. So Lowry, good. Van Vliet, good. OG Anunoby, good. Pascal Siakam, good. Boucher, good. Aaron Baines, good enough. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so filling in for the rest of Toronto will be backup point guard minutes go to Malachi Flynn. Oh yeah, shit, Gary Trent too. Okay. So Trent played 28 minutes and 31 minutes. He played 31, but that they didn't have. No, they still had Hood there too. So yeah, I think Gary Trent is just going to play like 28 minutes. So I'm going to put those minutes in. I'm going to give Rodney Hood those minutes. And then I don't think I'm going to skip out on Stanley Johnson. That feels smarter. I'm going to give them to Malachi Flynn. Don't think it'll matter. On to Toronto. Good. Okay, so for Toronto, Raptors are 4.5 point favorites in Detroit. Lowry with the Q tag, but I think he looks really good at 6,500 on FanDuel. That price tag is broken. The price tag is super duper broken. Van Vliet, Siakam, Boucher, Anunoby. You can kind of play anybody you want from Toronto, but Kyle Lowry on FanDuel in particular, if he is available, you kind of have to play him. All right, on to Utah. And this one's, you really got to pay attention to Utah because Rudy Gobert might look a lot different if they really just don't have any centers. So for Utah, there's basically a 0% chance that I'm changing anything in this rotation. I assume everybody is in. I would be right. So this is just going to be what it normally is, at which point Utah looks playable. Rudy Gobert for 8,200 on FanDuel is the best Utah option. Looks good on DK too. Donovan Mitchell for 9,200 on DraftKings. I actually don't mind all that much. Similar story on FanDuel. Conley and Bogdanovich are on the outside looking in. Final option, the Washington Wizards. Now for the Wiz, Q tag on Beal, right hip injury. Beal. Ooh, okay. On the back-to-back as well. I would expect Bradley Beal to sit. They play again tomorrow. But I don't think Beal is going to play, but I also cannot take him out right now. That's just not how this is going to work. So we'll have to see where that ends up. I got to put Daniel Gafford on this team, I guess. Because this team just doesn't have enough centers to play 10 minutes a game. So we got that done. Sort by team and by name. And we'll go back to Washington now because I got to give Gafford these stupid center minutes. So center. Alex Len played 16 minutes. Been playing about 18. I think that's fine. Rolo, 18 minutes. I think that's fine. Daniel Gafford, we'll give him those 12. Sorry, I dare you. I got to take the weekends off or I would go bonkers. 36 for Russ. I'm giving 36 to Beal. The rest of this shouldn't matter all that much. We get Neto back up, giving him all those backup minutes. Rui Hachimura is playing clearly huge minutes. Bertan's still out. We got to give Denny 26, and Garrison Matthews will play like 20, which then gives me minutes for Jerome Robinson. Done. That's Washington. That was pretty easy. I'm going to call it there for Washington. Final team. Yeah, Beal and Westbrook. Obviously, it's going to be heavily Westbrook if Beal ends up out. But for right now, I actually prefer Beal to Westbrook. 8,800 on FanDuel, where Westbrook's 11K. Clearly playing significantly better than him as of late. But you got to regress both of those numbers back. But guys, that's it. We're done. And I didn't save that file the entire time, which is ultra stupid. We've been live for an hour and a half. 193 people here and climbing. Likes are climbing, but hit that thumbs up again. Subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, we have infinite content right now. We're cranking it out. So you don't want anything to slip through the cracks and find out that you're missing something. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get alerted when we do go live. It's time to run some crunches. And since we didn't really pay close attention to it while we were moving through, this is going to be pretty eye-opening, I think. Here we go. So first up, FanDuel Cash / Optimal. And if we let this rip, good. Okay. Optimal lineup on FanDuel. So 333.7. That's a big step up. Like I wouldn't even mention the second one. It's over a full point. Kyle Lowry, Malcolm Brogdon, James Harden, Bradley Beal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Justin Holiday, Domantas Sabonis, Jaden McDaniels, and Moses Brown. All that looks pretty normal to me. Obviously, Beal and Lowry have Q tags on them. Lowry's not coming out of this spot no matter what. If he plays, Beal could. But the rest of this makes a ton of sense. Like Jaden McDaniels is 200 above the minimum, playing 30 minutes a game. Justin Holiday, 300 above the minimum. Not great from a fantasy perspective. Minutes are all over the place, but still a value option at small forward spot. Everybody else, I think, is probably going to make a ton of sense to people. Brogdon being 6,500, pretty weird too. So now we'll take a look at the power rankings portion of this. This is where we figure out really who the best plays are on FanDuel for the day. And in this case, we've got this. Oh, buckle up, guys. Jaden McDaniels, #1 contender incoming. That is about to happen. Or it's going to be close. All right, coffee is officially done, making me feel a little bit better. McDaniel's fallen now. Bradley Beal is my #1 play so far on this crunch. And I truly don't feel bad about that. So obviously he has not been playing well over his last 4. But we're talking about a guy that was 10,500 on March 10th. 19 days later, he's 8,800. This is just like anything else in life. Buy low, sell high. Now, I assume that he's actually going to sit, and this isn't going to matter all that much. But it's the principle of the thing. So, Beal, Jaden McDaniels, Zach LaVine, James Harden, Domantas Sabonis, Kyle Lowry, Ja Morant, Justin Holiday, Moses Brown, Giannis, Malcolm Brogdon, Tyrese Halliburton, Jaylen Brown, and Kawhi Leonard. A lot of big names in that list. McDaniels, Justin Holiday, the 2 big value pieces here. But that's what we've got going on for FanDuel. Let's slide on over to DraftKings now and figure out where we stand. Jake Mears, or if you're asking me if I'm excited for MLB to start, I'll say this. It will literally not matter to me. I won't be paying attention to it to start the season. I'll be all basketball. All right. DraftKings optimal lineup is Malcolm Brogdon, Broderick Thomas, Jaden McDaniels, Laurie Markkinen, Moses Brown, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Saban Lee. Blech. Don't really want any part of what I just saw. Power rankings on DK. This is just going to be a true dumpster fire, clear across the board. Yeah, this is terrible. This is truly terrible. Well, Broderick Thomas looking like he's the optimal play du jour on DraftKings at 3,300. We're seeing Jaden McDaniels, Reggie Jackson, Moses Brown, Giannis, Denny, Saban Lee, Kawhi, Ja Morant, Derrick Rose, James Harden, Bradley Beal, Luka, Karis LeVert. There's not a lot, man. DraftKings is tough. Nobody really stands out other than a value play. DK's hard, guys. Yeah, Broderick Thomas is likely to be the number one contender because of that $3,300 price tag. If he's going to play big-ish minutes, you're going to have to, and it's going to be gross. Broderick Thomas coming out of this list pretty highly. Those are the DraftKings power rankings. We've got one more to do. We're heading to Super Draft. And then that is the end of this show. We'll have one in the books, 4 more to go this week. So for Super Draft, here is what we've got for today. Optimal lineup on Super Draft is James Harden, Steph Curry, De'Aaron Fox, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Luka, and Nikola Vucevic. That is a powerful lineup. Powerful. 1.3 multiplier on De'Aaron Fox is huge. Is he my number one play? Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is the number one play on Super Draft today. Super Draft power rankings. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox should be just chilling at the top there. That 1.3 multiplier is going to be too much to overcome for everybody else, I think. Giannis is at 1.05, though. That helps. Him getting that extra little hook is enough to put him over the 1, guys. So it's going to be Giannis, Fox, Kawhi, James Harden, Kyrie, Luka, Jason Tatum, Vooch, Morant, Jaylen Brown, Julius Randle, Colin Sexton, Steph Curry, and Paul George. Power rankings for Super Draft. Guys, we are done. 11 games, 22 teams. Not too shabby off of a pretty fun weekend for me. I can see myself. This is bad. This is real bad. Doesn't matter. I'm feeling good. I've got the energy. That's what happens when you go get an IV, guys. They give you all your fluids back, all those extra vitamins and minerals and electrolytes and all that good stuff that I don't have in my body. I got it now. So now I feel great. How many minutes did I project for Vooch? I don't know, 32 or something along those lines. Guys, this was fun. One last time, please hit that like button if you can. It helps me out tremendously. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. No strategy show for me, but I am on Live Before Lock tonight with Chris Spags. And then starting next week, I think I'm on every strategy show for the full week because of baseball being back. So you'll get a lot of me moving forward. That's it, though, guys. Good luck tonight, everybody. You guys know where we'll be tomorrow morning starting at 6:30 a.m. Smaller slate, too. Let's just double check it. I want to make sure I have the amount of games correct, but I know it's pretty small. Yeah, 4-gamer tomorrow. So let's do this. 4 games tomorrow. We'll get through those 8 teams pretty quickly. We'll have a little bit of extra time at the end to take some questions. Not like 1v1 type stuff, but if you have any types of strategy questions or just DFS questions in general, happy to hit on whatever you guys want. We're going to have a little bit of free time in the morning. So good luck tonight, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Have a good rest of the day. Obviously, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'll talk to you again in the morning. Bye.